possibly another historic day in American history. I mean, yeah, it's definitely, I would say, already a historic day because we have the longest, possibly, I don't want to jinx it, but probably the longest talking filibuster in American history is happening right now. The first longest talking filibuster in history happened a long time ago, before pretty much any of you were born. August 28th, 1957. That senator was Strom Thurmond, and that talking filibuster lasted 24 hours, 18 minutes. And today, April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2025, Senator Cory Booker, who is one of the two senators representing the great state of New Jersey, has been doing a talking filibuster since 6 o'clock p.m. last night, approximately Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, which is where DC is. Some of you are probably already like, well, wait a second, this isn't technically a filibuster because he's not he's not delaying the votes on a specific bill. Okay, yeah, I guess you're technically right, but you can definitely broaden the definition to say anytime a senator goes to the floor, starts speaking, delaying what the Senate's supposed to be doing anyway, it's a filibuster. Come on, it's a filibuster. So the people who are trying to downplay this, I think it's mostly just people that don't like Cory Booker. It's a pretty big deal. So there's no specific legislation that he is protesting. He is protesting the Trump administration as a whole. So I'll go ahead and share the screen with you. This is what it looks like right now. He's been going almost 24 hours. That's why I was like, oh. So I actually, I've been checking in on this filibuster, and I checked in about, it was a couple hours ago, but 2.5 hours ago. And I was like, wow, he's still going. I can't believe this. Is he going to break the record? This is exciting. And maybe I should live stream when this happens, because the first time there was a talking filibuster this long, it wasn't broadcast. Nobody actually recorded it on video because it was 1957. And by the way, Strom Thurmond was protesting the Civil Rights Act of 1957. He was a staunch segregationist, a racist. But anyway, yeah, so a bit of irony here that an African-American, Cory Booker, is the senator who will probably be breaking his record. But yeah, so it was not televised. It was not recorded on video. There were video cameras back then, but they weren't as good, and they couldn't record for that long anyway, for more than 24 hours. I've watched a few other talking filibusters over the years. Rand Paul did one. I believe it was 2011 or 2012. Ted Cruz did a really long one, more than 21 hours, back in 2013. Chris Murphy, the senator from Connecticut, friends with Cory Booker, who inspired him to do this, he did one protesting or delaying the vote on a bill that would have made universal background checks required to purchase a gun. That was like in 2016, I believe. And so, yeah, we haven't had a talking filibuster like this since then. And if I pull up the screen here, like it's funny, some Wikipedia editors have been already updating this throughout the day, but you can see this is the longest solo talking filibusters since 1900. And there's Strom Thurmond at the top, as I mentioned. And then Cory Booker they've already put him in there underneath. His marathon speech is happening right now, still taking place. A lot of people have been watching. You can see if you go to his page, his YouTube page is the primary place where a lot of people are watching, but they're simulcasting it. And he went from like 15,000 subscribers to 50,000 subscribers throughout this filibuster. So I found that a little fascinating as a YouTuber myself. But anyway, again, he's not delaying legislation. So Ted Cruz really wasn't either. It says here Ted Cruz was delaying continuing Appropriations Act. He was basically going on about spending, out of control spending in Washington. But again, this has been like a more broad filibuster. Senator Booker is mainly just protesting President Trump's administration and President Trump himself. So that's what's been going on. And we can tune into what he's saying here. Basically, this is I would say it's different than any other filibuster I've seen because he's actually making sense. He's actually just like a lot of it, he's just passionately speaking off the cuff. He had a whole binder full of speeches and prepared remarks. That was different than, if you recall, previous filibusters like Huey Long famously, and I think it was 1935 when he did his 15-hour, 30-minute talking filibuster. That was in 1935. He was reading Shakespeare and saying all kinds of weird things. Ted Cruz famously read from a Dr. Seuss book. And so sometimes they're not really saying anything of importance. But checking in with this filibuster, he's actually been saying some things of substance. And I think the most striking thing is he's just been very passionate about what he's been saying. So we'll check in here to see what he's saying. See if you can,
I thought it was going to be another young hotshot, up-and-coming politician in America. No, he goes, I'm going to pair you with John Lewis. And my heart sank a little bit. Actually, maybe it was my ego that sank. My heart got excited because I know how these shows start. They start with biographies. And so imagine the show starting. John Lewis, hero of the civil rights movement, literally bled the southern soil red for freedom and justice. And then it goes to my biography. Cory Booker, riding his big wheel in suburban New Jersey. The show was unbelievable, mountain and boy. But I got to meet John Lewis.
Okay, good. You can hear it. So just a few other things.
On a bridge in Alabama,
we had
the course of events in New Jersey that led
they haven't shown to see if he's been able to go to the bathroom. The only way that he can make this work, I assume, is he is urinating somewhere. In the Senate chamber. He cannot leave the Senate chamber. Otherwise, the talking filibuster is over. So, like what Strom Thurmond famously did was he had 1 foot in the Senate chamber, 1 foot out, and there was this little booth covered with curtains that his staff had prepared for him where he could do his business, including, I think, number 2. I don't know if he actually did, or maybe he wore diapers. Maybe Senator Booker is wearing Depends. A lot of people have been joking around about that. But we don't know what's going on with his bowel movements or his the fact that, he's drank water a little bit throughout his time there because it's helped him speak. Surely by now he has urinated. So just so you're aware, he can walk around the chamber, yes.
Except he's in all the pictures.
Nice.
And this is John Lewis. We who knew him, this was him. Mountain of a man. He had already prepared eggs and grits, a good Southern breakfast, and wouldn't let my mom and I get up. And he serves us all. And he humbly is saying, this is why I marched. This is why I sacrificed for history-making days like this. He told us how special this was for him. He told me that he would be right here where my friends are sitting, watching me get sworn in, and how proud he was going to be. In a sense, he stood in for my dad on this floor.
Yeah, I would consider doing that. Thanks for the super chat there, Ray. Based on character alone, I mean, that's usually that's a big factor in my criteria for determining what makes a great president. So, yeah, it's a great idea. Maybe next President's Day I'll do that.
You were amazing in those early months. And this is the next time I meet John Lewis for a moment that changed my life. Chris Murphy, Brian Schatz, remember this moment. It was during the 2017 healthcare debate when I didn't know how we were going to stop that bill from passing and taking away $20 million health care for 20 million Americans, but John Lewis, hey, Corey, let's do something different. What you got in mind? And I said, well, John Lewis, I got this phone. It's very powerful. Let's do a Facebook Live. And so I open it up, Facebook Live. We meet in the Capitol, and then he says, hey, where can we go to sit down for a place? And I love my favorite place to sit. I watch Schoolhouse Rock so much. It's right on the steps of the Capitol. Let's just sit there and talk. Chris Murphy, Brian Schatz, first people out to sit with us. And the time lapse is amazing. First 2-3 people.
According to my calculations, we had somebody ask about this. According to my calculations, there's about 11 or 12 minutes until he breaks the record. And so, but I don't have a countdown specifically because I don't know exactly. All I know is he began last night approximately 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And so he's been talking since then. So almost, actually just crossing 24 hours. Imagine giving a speech for 24 hours. That's what he's done. Now, he's had some help. Whenever somebody does a talking filibuster, whenever a senator decides they want to do this, they tell some people. They let others, their friends know, hey, I'm doing this. Can you help me out? And so how their colleagues help out is they ask him questions. And so he has to say, hey, I'm opening it up to questions here. And as long as they keep talking, his colleagues in the Senate, asking him a question, then it's still going. It's still delayed. The filibuster is still happening. And he has done that with at least 10 other senators that I've seen. Chuck Schumer, the Senate minority leader, of course, Chris Murphy, several others, Dick Durbin I saw earlier today, all Democrats, of course. Cory Booker is a Democrat. I mean, that makes sense. He's protesting the president and his administration. But really, I mean, he keeps saying over and over throughout this, if you've chimed in at any point, he keeps saying it's not right or left, it's right or wrong. He said that multiple times. So it's clear he's pretty passionate about this. I mean, I'm a little biased here because Cory Booker will always have a special place in my heart. If you recall, when I did a live stream that took 2 days myself, which was about 15 hours, I called every senator live in a live stream, yes, and I asked them to respond, and I did get a few responses back, but Senator Booker was the only senator of all 100 senators to send me back a video response, which was pretty cool. He actually filmed something on his phone, and he was like in his car or something. I made a follow-up video about that you can watch. But yeah, so, and he's also commented underneath a couple of my videos, or somebody from his staff, I should say. So a shout out specifically to folks on his staff, because it's all them. I pretty much, the staffers who do not get enough love. They work so hard. Many of them don't get paid much. It's a thankless job, just like being a teacher. But anyway, let's go back to see what he's saying now.
Michael Collins, God bless you, man. You put the phone by his ear and you just gave me my time to have a conversation with the man that would soon die, the man that changed my life, that helped my family get into a neighborhood that loved me and cherished me. God love Harrington Park. The man who stood in for my father when heaven brought him home.
Yes, he was, Ray. Thanks for that. You didn't have to pay me for that, but goodness. Yes, he was the only one who gave me a video response. I got 3 other responses via letter, and then a couple more via email.
To see a president who flattered every senator's ego, tell them what they want to hear, run for president. And so I said,
yeah, I've been planning on making a top Speaker of the House video for a long time, and worst Speakers of the House. I already kind of have a list, by the way. One of these months or years, I'll finally make it.
I promise you, John Lewis, that I will do everything possible, that we'll do everything possible to make you proud. civil rights generation is starting to be called home. Leaders are leaving us. We in the CBC have lost a lot of greats. And I can't remember forget the promise I made to John Lewis with all that he gave
Keeps
me,
going on about John Lewis. Earlier, he was talking a lot about John McCain, one of his
And so this is one of
former
those moments
Republican
John
colleagues.
Lewis, he would not be sitting still. He would be calling me up and say, "You still got that Facebook thing?" I go, "No, I don't really use Facebook anymore."
Has quite an audience there. I wish they'd show more
There's
than
a
just
thing
him.
called TikTok or
TikTok.
I don't know what John Lewis would say right now. I know what he said in 2017, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know what he would say. But John Lewis would say something. He would do something. He wouldn't treat this moral moment like it was normal. John Lewis knew what King said, that what we have to repent for, all of us here will have to repent for, is not just the vitriolic words and violent actions of so-called bad people. What we will have to repent for in our day and age is the appalling silence and the inaction of good people. This is our moral moment. This is when the most precious ideas of our country are being tested, where the Constitution and the question is being called, where does the Constitution live? On paper or in our hearts?
Yeah, he's a little
This is the
cheesy.
moment.
He's kind of a cheesy dude, like myself.
Generations
Uh,
get them.
Bit of a charm to it, though. A lot of my viewers like this guy. So
Veterans are on balance.
maybe he's going after the Mr. Beat
Priorities
viewer
are
vote
balanced.
for
Where's our
2028.
priorities,
I don't know.
America?
But this is
More
definitely
tax
impressive.
cuts,
The stamina
going to the
going
wealthy.
24 hours here. I believe he does have like 7 minutes,
Greater budget deficits in the trillions and trillions
maybe
of
less.
dollars?
6 minutes.
Or are we going to do something different like John Lewis would call us to do? He would call us to get into good trouble, necessary trouble, save the soul of America. But you all know, John, don't hate each other. Don't let anybody pull you so low as to hate them. I said this about the presiding elder. Different parties, but he showed me an act of kindness during this speech. He and I have talked
All
about
right,
this
so
for
he's
hours.
I can't believe he hasn't lost his voice. I'm actually going to mute this for a second. He's about to beat the record here. I'll take some questions though, because you guys have been donating, so thank you for that. Wolfie, any thoughts on Liberation Day? I believe that what you are referring to is Trump's President Trump has said the day that tariffs go into effect is the Liberation Day. So I think that was supposed to be today, right? Or maybe they're pushing it back to tomorrow, but that's my understanding. If you've watched me before, you already, like, in terms of talking about tariffs, you already know that I hate tariffs, and I think it's a huge mistake, and I think it's going to be devastating. It's probably going to cause a recession, if a recession's not already happening anyway. Sir Butts the Fourth says, "Does this give you hope, Mr. Beat?" I'm terrified. Oh, of course it gives me hope. I mean, whenever you see this kind of passion from a member of Congress, it's got to give you hope. I have not seen much passion from members of Congress since Trump took office for his second term, frankly. So this is refreshing to see. It does give me hope, sure. At least he's better than Menendez. Yeah, Menendez, he's the other New Jersey senator who got into some trouble. Quite a corrupt guy, cartoonishly corrupt, also a Democrat. Fanta Consumer, you should run for governor of Kansas next year. Lol, only half joking. Some people said I should run for Senate next year because I was trolling Senator Roger Marshall. He's one of my two senators here in Kansas. I would hate to run for office, mostly because I would hate to put my family through that. It'd be really risky. I don't think a lot of people would probably like me. So, yeah, but I mean, if people keep bugging me, then eventually I'll have to do something, I guess. But it's not something I care to do. And so, but thank you that you're half joking. This might be somewhat, wow, Sean, $20. Thank you. This might be a somewhat political question, but what is your opinion regarding the president's use of the Alien Enemies Act? Do you think the Supreme Court will rule in Trump's favor? I personally find the thought terrifying. I think the Supreme Court will rule against Trump. He is definitely abusing that law, stretching it to its limits. A lot of people have been deported that should not have been deported, and it's been definitely terrifying is probably the right word to describe it, in my opinion. Okay, how bad does he have to pee? Probably really bad, Harrison. Good to see you here. I think he's about to break the record, so let's check back in with him.
Determination. We can't.
We are watching
act
history.
as if this is normal times. These people's stories that I wrote were calling out for help. Senator, help me. Someone help me. I'm in danger of losing my health care. Someone help me. I'm a veteran. Look what happened to me. It's not fair. I fought for this country. Help me, help me. I'm worried about my Social Security. And the rural office I go to is being closed. Help. People calling out for help. And what Americans do when people are calling out for help? They built an infrastructure. The greatest project
still
ever,
got
called
2
the
minutes.
Underground Railroad, where Quakers, white folks, joined with black folks to shuttle people to freedom. What did they do when people were worried and fearful?
I think he seriously has been peeing behind that podium. There's some kind of bucket or something. He's probably wearing Depends as well. I'm not even joking. I am not even joking.
When they faced violence, well, look at the people at Stonewall who stood up, who pushed back, who organized, who won. What do they do when the dogs are unleashed on us, the fire hose are unleashed on us? Look at what they did in Selma.
I think to run for politics or be in politics, you kind of have to be a grandstander. I mean, yeah, but yeah, good point. I think he's definitely heart's in the right place. Oh, where are they clapping? Did he break the record?
There's a room here in the Senate named after Strom Thurmond.
Oh, he's mentioning Thurmond.
To hate him is wrong. And maybe my ego got too caught up that if I stood here, maybe, just maybe I could break this record. The man who tried to stop
That's what he was going
the
to do all
rights
along,
upon
wasn't
which
it?
I stand. I'm not here, though, because of his speech. I'm here despite his speech. I'm here because as powerful as he was, the people were more powerful.
A lot of people actually there. Usually not that many people are actually
But I remind
in
you,
the
all
Senate
those
chamber.
people who believe like me that we've got to redeem the dream, turn again to John Lewis, because you all know the story, my colleagues, of when the man that beat him savagely, drew blood, cracked bones. Decades later, he was a congressman. That man brought his grandson with him to ask for forgiveness from John Lewis. I heard about this story when I was in the car in Georgia with him. What did you do, John? This man that so viciously beat you, wounded you, bruised you, battered you. What did you do when he came to ask you for forgiveness? What did you do? And a good Christian man of faith, simply said, every one of us needs mercy. Every one of us needs redemption.
Looking at the clock.
I forgave him. I hugged him. We wept. And I looked at the boy. This nation needs you too. I
think he's beat the record. I think that it's now 6:19 Central, 7:19.
John?
I think he broke the
Would
record.
the senator yield for a question?
Chuck Schumer, it's the only time in my life I can tell you no.
I just want to tell you a question. Do you know you have just broken the record? Do you know
I
how
did.
proud this caucus is of you? Do you know how proud America is of you?
There it is. Just watched history. Wow, he's about to cry. Yeah, look at that. He is full of passion, undeniable, whether you agree with him or not. Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Yeah, This is just like the movie. Watch that movie if you haven't seen it. It doesn't hold up that well, but it's still pretty good. This is a real life Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, except Cory Booker has accepted money from special interests. But, you know, despite that.
Order. Order.
Yeah, LeBron.
The chair does not wish to take away from this moment, but I think the best way to honor this great accomplishment to our guests in the gallery, to make a rare exception and let you stand to show your appreciation, I will not constrain my fellow senators.
Thank you. I'm Chuck Schumer. I have yielded for a question, and you asked me, did I know? I know now.
Yeah, I like that movie too. Although it's a little slow by today's standards.
Not quite wrap this up yet.
24 more.
I don't want to wrap this up yet. My mom's senator. My mom's been watching. I know Catherine Cortez Masto has a podium in front of her. She can give me a rest. I'd like to go a little further if we can, just a little further. I love, and again, I know people are trying to train each other.
Definitely, Kevin.
All of our media operations, they give the
And thank you
worst
for that.
images of
Shout
the
out
people
to
of the other
Canada.
party.
Great country.
But I want to tell you one of the funny tweets my staff gave me is something Ted Cruz said. Is he's around 19-20 hours. He said, maybe I should pull a fire alarm. He's going to break my record. I'm going to pause in a moment if she has a question for me to Catherine Cortez Masto, because she's my mother. But I do want to just say again, 2 points to make if I can. One is how grateful I am to my staff. When we decided to do this many days ago, when we decided to do this days ago, they were like, we have to do this. And we started preparing and working on this, and they did an extraordinary job. They were with me late nights, writing. I just feel guilty because they wrote about 10 books and we didn't use all of them.
Did they use ChatGPT?
They were really substantive stuff, pulling from Republicans and Democrats in critique of this moment, pulling from Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, he
Republican
read
governors that
speeches
are saying,
earlier, I know.
do not cut Medicaid. States that know, as my colleagues do, that have a trigger.
Yeah, this is live.
That if the Medicaid funding goes below 90%, they stop the Medicaid expansion. My staff really worked hard to not make this just Democratic voices, to make it people in our country, that Republicans and Democrats, you heard mentioned in the speech, the Cato Institute, the Manhattan Institute, all people
Hey,
who
Tyler.
are honest arbiters and are saying that what Trump is doing is wrong, that a budget like this that blows massive holes in our deficit, it will be something our children are trying to pay for. And what are they ultimately paying for that's caused this big deficit? It's trillions of dollars of tax cuts that people like Doge, multi-billionaire Musk will benefit from, but children won't. They did such a good job bringing together authorities on both sides of the aisle. I just want to thank them. I want to thank my cousin Pam and my family. Cousin
All
Pam,
right.
like Chris Murphy, was here for the whole time. I want to thank Chris Murphy again.
All right, while he's thanking everybody, I'm going to thank you for the super chats, and I'm going to answer the rest that I have not answered. So I'm sorry if I missed them so far. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Did I answer this question, Kevin? I think I did. How does he go 24 hours with no bathroom? He brings the bathroom to the Senate floor. And if you think I'm joking about this, I'm not. They're very, his colleagues who have helped him with this have set up something. We don't know what. They've been very secretive about it, but that's how. You cannot go 24 hours without peeing unless you're a superhero or something. And no member of Congress is a superhero, I hate to say. Logan, how could Trump try and get a third term? He can't be VP because of the 12th Amendment, barring ineligible presidential candidates from being VP. Yeah, he can't get a third term. I mean, first of all, there's the 22nd Amendment, which term limits him. Second of all, yeah, like you said, the 12th Amendment says he being president already. I mean, I guess there is a loophole where he's like Speaker of the House and both the president and vice president resign. I guess that's the other option. Now, if he was vice president now, he could be vice president forever. That wouldn't matter. But the fact that he was already at the top of the ticket and all these elections and, yeah, serving as president 2 terms, they'd have to change the Constitution in order for it to work or ignore the Constitution. Would you like to see Laura Kelly run for Senate? If you don't know who Laura Kelly is, she is the governor of Kansas in my home state. She has not indicated she wants to stay in politics after her term is up next year. I think she's probably going to retire, and she's up there in age, like 70. So I think she's ready to retire. I don't think she's going to run for Senate. Yes, Menendez was so corrupt. It was actually impressive. Definitely, Ray. And thanks for all your super chats. Ye Master, you're not partisan enough to succeed in today's politics. Yeah, but I'm passionate enough. I would run as an independent, no doubt. I would not run as a Democrat or a Republican. Definitely, I have been an independent my entire adult life, and I intend to stay that way until the day I die. So I think the saving grace with that is the fact that most Americans are independent now. Most Americans are unaffiliated with either of the 2 major political parties. Well, thank you, Nakluda001. Are there any things you like about Trump? The main thing I like about Trump is that he has shaken up the establishment. He has stuck it to the elites, and the system needed to be shaken up like it is. I didn't want it to happen this way, but at least it's happening. So that's the thing I like the most. I think the country needed to go through this. I really do think it needed to go through this. The Democratic Party has become, in many ways, the traditional conservative party. And if I'm saying that and it's shocking you, remember, conservative often just means they're trying to keep the status quo. And so you look at somebody like Nancy Pelosi, for years was just trying to keep things as they were, not really pushing for any major reforms or progress. So, yeah, that's the best part to come out of all this whole movement. Feel like he's very coherent. Oh, I already posted this, Kevin. Yeah. 57 sauce. Whoa, 25. Thank you. Thank you for making your videos. And I want to thank you once again for giving insight and showing us this historic moment. Wow, that's really kind of you. Thank you. I'm about to cry here now, just like Senator Booker. Okay. Tyler. Oh, good to see you. Do you think Harris has a chance in 2028? I'd say no. I don't know, but I probably lean towards no as well. I probably agree with you. I just think it was pretty clear the country didn't want to go that direction, and when we voted in 2024. Where was his passion during the Trump address when Al Green got thrown out for speaking up? Maybe Al Green inspired Senator Booker to do what he did as well, not just Chris Murphy. Yeah, and thank you, David. Oh, it's Ian. E for every gamer. Thank you. Ian, my very first Patreon supporter, an awesome person. I was at the DC Appeals Court during oral arguments on the Alien Enemies Act. Wow. You'll have to tell me about that when we see each other next, or text me about it. That's amazing. SoCal Architect. Oh, yeah, I recognize you. Thank you for that. Thank you for streaming this, Mr. B. Well, sure, of course. I mean, you don't have to stream it here. Thank you for joining me. You could have watched this on several other YouTube channels. Fan to consumer. Okay, hypothetically, which would be more appealing to you, Senate or governor? I hate the Senate, but maybe it's the Senate. It's weird to think. Maybe I should go there to shake things up. I don't know. And I'm more interested in federal politics. I try to get into state politics, but to me, it's just not as exciting, especially because here in Kansas, things are gerrymandered so badly, and it feels like a lot of the people in the Kansas legislature are just so out of touch with the majority of Kansans that it feels frustrating. And so that's another part of it. I feel like I would have more of an impact in the Senate versus as governor, believe it or not. Devin, thank you. Whoa, Mr. B, you're a treasure. Whoa. Why are you being so kind, bro? That's really nice of you to say. Thank you. America needs people like you. Unfortunately, the right people never want to run for office. The only exception is Bernie. I get it. Yeah. I mean, because like it's a crappy job. Like, why would you want to do that? And that's what some people say about Trump is like, oh, why would you want to be president? It's a horrible job. You get ridiculed so much. It's so stressful, blah, blah, blah. Actually, to me, I think Trump in many ways ran for president to enrich himself, to gain power, to feed his narcissism. So I think that's he's kind of an exception to that. But most people that enter politics, it's not like they, you know, you can make more money even often outside of government. If I ran for the Senate, I actually, believe it or not, might take a pay cut now at this point, which is really sad, actually. Yeah, it was sad that I wasn't paid much as a teacher either, but I got paid way more making YouTube videos than being a teacher. So it's a messed up system, but thank you for all these. And you're just donating. Why are you donating money to me? This is insane. Melodic Manny, keep going. Corey, keep going. Mr. B. Well, thank you. That's really encouraging. As long as I'm able to financially support my family, I will keep going as long as I possibly can. Derek, another technicality would be if he resigns a day before halfway through his term, he could serve another full term if elected, right? Okay, yeah, so that's technically true. He might do that because the 22nd Amendment says, well, no. Yeah, you're right, because he can serve up to 10 years. Derek, you are a good student. Thank you for pointing that out. Maxie, thank you. From Canada, Mr. Beat for Kansas 2nd District, 2026 for one term. I'm in the 1st District now. I live in the 1st District, so if I ran, it'd be the 1st District. But thank you. That's kind of you to say. How we roll. No way Trump caters to the elite. He is the elite. Well, I mean, yeah, but at least he shook up the system that revolved around the elites, you know, even though he is the elite, if that makes sense. He is the establishment. I mean, he was a billionaire when he ran for president the first time. I mean, the guy is an insider. He hung out with presidents before. So he's not an outsider, but he's an outsider in a sense that he's one of the insiders who's like going to make all the other insiders upset. Elon, thank you, Elon. Good to see you here. Trump can argue the 22nd Amendment only applies to consecutive terms and hope the Supreme Court will bite. That argument, it sucks. The Supreme Court would probably not bite for that. I don't see it, but I get what you're saying. Thank you, John. Keep up our faith and your authentic morality, Mr. Pete. Authentic morality is a phrase I've never heard before, but I really like it, and that means a lot. Thank you, John. Everyone's being really nice. It's weird. I'm used to people being mean to me on the internet, especially social media. Jack of cards. Agnew or George Wallace in a hypothetical 1972. Oh boy, I think Wallace actually, because Wallace, believe it or not, was less corrupt, and he was more populist. He had a lot of popular positions. His most controversial position was on segregation, which he later changed his mind about after nearly dying, after being shot and paralyzed. But still, I'm not a big fan of Agnew. Ray says again, thank you again, Ray. I liked Kamala, but I would vote for Lucifer before I vote for Donald Trump. Lucifer being the devil, in case you don't know who that is. But her problem was she promised no change at all, same old stuff. Yeah, like I think that one of the biggest problems with her campaign was that she repeatedly said that she would not do anything significantly different than President Biden was doing. And so, oh, yeah. Another thing that she was doing was trying to win over Republicans, never Trumpers in particular, hanging out with the Cheneys. Come on, you're going to turn off a lot of Americans doing that. Thank you, Justin. Smoking that Whoopi Goldberg South Egyptian fur. All right. Yeah. Hey, do what you got to do to get through it. All right. Nix, first time watching you live. Just wanted to say thanks for all your content. Well, thank you, Nix. Thanks for being here. Prince, thanks for your efforts. Been following you for 5+ years. Whoa. Teachers are essential to our society. Thank you so much, Prince AD. 5 years. Wow. Jetmax. Not sure if it was mentioned yet when Mr. Beat called all senators and congressmen, which that was a separate video, separate times. about an election holiday. Senator Booker sent in a full video response. Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, but thanks for bringing it up and thanks for the super chat. Ethan, brilliant videos, your ability to be unbiased, yet critical and simply showing the truth. I watch your videos for free, so this is a token. Well, thank you so much. But I have said this before. I'll say it again, and I'll say it right now. I am biased. Every single person on this planet is biased. It's okay, though, as long as we recognize our bias and we try not to be, and we just tell everyone, this is where I'm coming from. These are my biases. I think that's the best we can do. But thank you. I try to be unbiased. I'm not. But if you want to know my political views, I've taken political tests in other streams, and I've shared them on Twitch many times in particular on specific issues. I don't identify with either of the major political parties, but I do tell you where I stand on specific issues. Banji, thank you. The most inside outsider there is. Lol. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Okay, let's go back to see what Senator Booker is saying here.
Point to real problems in the national security of our country and the laws that we established. One of those laws is very simple. You're supposed to preserve records. How can a signal chain that disappears not be a violation of the law of this land? Is there a hearing on that? Head of the Intel Commission, not a hearing at all. Where are the checks and balances spelled out in the Constitution? We are derelicting our duties here in the Senate. We really are. And the consequences of that is the very national security of our country. How many times do you think this was the first time they created a signal chat? Or is this a pattern of practice? You're a really rational man. I keep looking at you, Mark.
He's such a weird guy, too. I love
You're
it.
my leader on these issues. Or Jack Reed.
He's awkward. He's
No,
very
this
cheesy.
indicates a real problem, and the Senate, the United States Senate, should get to the bottom of it.
He's still going. And look at that. I just want to show you the Wikipedia page is updated. So those Wikipedia editors do not mess around. It is already there over Strom Thurmond. It's still ongoing. So he has now been going. Let's see here. How long has he been going?
Generation, there's a rising generation of people. I've talked about my
So he's been going about 24 hours, 38 minutes at this point.
whole bunch of new ideas out there that are about the future, about the possibilities, about the hope, about the greatness of America, not the greatness that is braggadocious, not the greatness that says I'm better than you, not the greatness that says only I can fix things. That's not the America we want. We want America that says we the people. An America that says e pluribus unum. An America says that our history shows that rugged individualism and self-reliance are important values, but rugged individualism didn't beat the Nazis.
Oh,
It didn't take us to the moon. We did that together, America.
you socialist. No, I'm
Visions
kidding.
that can
I'm
use
kidding. We got
beyond
another
our
super chat here. Sorry.
narrow
Oh, sorry.
part
I'm going to meet you
of
there
a real
again.
mandate. And you know what a real mandate
I got another super chat, and I want to. Do you think Elon Musk will ever run for president?
should be. God, I have heard from
No,
some of my
and
colleagues
primarily
on the aisle that
because
have said
he can't.
if they formed a commission of
It's illegal for him to. He was not born in the United States. You have to be born in the United States. The Constitution says that, and he was born in South Africa. So
executives on both sides of the aisle that would have said, pick me, let's form the most exciting team possible. Because Jack Reed knows that the military of the United States of America could do things more efficiently. It's a little bit of waste over there because they haven't passed an audit. Where's Maria Cantwell? The Commerce Committee. So many ideas about how to create profit centers in the American government. You have talked to me about them. You're brilliant on some of these ideas. I look around here, but I could look to the other side of the aisle.
can't believe he
Man,
still
the
has a
farmer
voice.
sitting over there, the guy who's
Amazing.
been so good to me, Chuck Grassley. I forced that man to hug me when we passed. I forced you to hug me, sir. I have pictures. Can't deny it. I don't know how you're going to get reelected now, sir. You hugged this dude, black dude from New Jersey. You're so sweet to me still. We passed a big bipartisan bill because people like him, like the presiding officer, I've met with you, you still have big ideas.
That's the thing about the Senate is that there's this camaraderie there that is not there in the House of Representatives. a lot of the Democrats and Republicans do get along in the Senate. They do hang out outside of the Capitol. And he's kind of referencing that there. When you only have basically this small group of people, it's very exclusive. It feels like a club. It's kind of similar to being president. You know, not many senators in American history, just 100 people representing 50 states filled with 335 million people. So you do develop these close connections, even if you disagree ideologically with your colleagues. So I wonder how many Republicans are actually in that room right now, if any. Oh, he just referenced one. He was talking. Yeah, so some are in there. I do wish we could see a wider shot of who is in that room. I know there's a lot of people up, like watching above, you know. But it's just cool to see something historic in real time. Like I said earlier, we didn't get to see Strom Thurmond give his 24-hour talking filibuster because it was not recorded on video. It wasn't televised. This is, you know, we got to see Chris Murphy's back in 2016, Ted Cruz 2013, Rand Paul a year or two before that. This is the longest by far, way longer than those other ones. Very impressive. He's still going. It looks like he could go for several more hours. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go because I want to hang out with my family, but so I'll probably wrap this up here shortly, but I just want to stress again the historical importance of this, whether you are a Republican, Democrat, or independent, whether you agree with Senator Booker on issues or not, it doesn't matter. This is just a big deal because a talking filibuster, first of all, it's a rare thing. Second of all, this has never happened before where a talking filibuster lasted this long. Oh, I got some more super chats. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Mary or Mari. Hello from Emporia. Love your work. Thank you so much. Wow. Emporia, not that far away from where I live. That's awesome. Oh, Jogo Bonito. Mr. Beat, thanks for all you do. History was my favorite subject. Yes. I love your content. Well, thank you. What exactly is going on here? A talking filibuster, the longest talking filibuster in the U.S. Senate in American history. You just saw it. So this is it's still happening. JT Curtis Music. Oh, a musician. Love your channel, Mr. B, from one songwriter to another. Oh, considering my next project concerns political protest songs, do you have any favorites? Oh, Siri, stop it. Okay, Siri is talking to me. I mean, all those Vietnam War protest songs are pretty good. Fortunate Son, probably. I know it's cliche to say that, but that's probably my favorite. The CCR Fortunate Son came out, I think, in 1969 as a protest song against the Vietnam War. There's a guy right now on YouTube who makes protest songs, and it's just him and his guitar. His name is Jesse Wells. If you should go check out his channel. It's amazing. Here. Check out his protest songs. I am a fan. But yeah, back to Senator Booker here.
People, astonishing to me, in our government said, oh, that's right, we should impeach this guy. That's not a question of left or right. That's a question of right or wrong. We're normalizing this behavior. We're letting him do things that Republicans and Democrats should say together are wrong. So I want to say I'm going to stop soon.
Is he?
Well, for a question?
Oh, yes.
All right, I got some more. Oh, my
God
gosh.
bless you.
I got questions, too. Okay. Oh, wow. Thank you. Luap. Trump voter here becoming more liberal by the day. Whoa. Is that true? That's interesting. Now, define liberal, because I think classic liberal means like something different. And I actually identify still strongly with classical liberal. So, but in some ways I've been called other things with my views on on certain issues. So yeah, but interesting that you share that. Oh, Banji again. Hello. This is that one uncle that you never want to bring up politics around at the Thanksgiving table's dream. Oh boy. Yeah, I love it. You have some pretty good comments. Thank you for the super chats. I'm not going to say your username. I'm going to give you detention for that. No, I'm kidding. Thank you for the super chat. In my opinion, if a president's only achievement was returning college, healthcare, and housing prices to pre-Reagan era, they would be a top 5, certainly top 10. I totally understand where you're coming from. I will say, though, that as my video I released about 3 or 4 months ago reveals, the president doesn't have that much control over the economy. Even Congress doesn't have as much as we think they do, although they can spend some money to help some folks out. I think a lot of it, our system is bottom up still. And so in terms of Congress, like promoting competition with laws, they try to make it as competitive as possible. And so a lot of things are truly out of the control of those in government. However, yeah, like Congress can do some things. So I get what you're saying there. Yeah. Everybody votes for president based on the economy still. Rando, I like your PFP. Hello from New Jersey. Oh, wow. He's your senator. Wow. Love your videos, Mr. B. Thank you for all you do to teach history and U.S. politics. Well, thank you, Rando. And I hope you've enjoyed watching his talking filibuster. Jacob, I don't know who this guy is. I'm also surprised he can still speak. I know, right? His name is Cory Booker. He's been a U.S. Senator representing the great state of New Jersey since 2013, I believe. So about 12 years. And he's the only senator who sent me a video response when I called every senator. And a lot of people don't know who he is. In fact, if you go on Blue Sky, you saw Cory Booker trending, but it was Cory spelled C-O-R-E-Y because people don't know how to spell his name. It's C-O-R-Y. But yeah, now people know about him. How does Trump compare to Cleveland? Logan, thank you. I would say I've answered this question before in live streams, but briefly, Trump is definitely a more, he thinks the government should do more. Cleveland was a more hands-off guy, like government should do less. So I think Cleveland was more limited government and more sound money. Trump doesn't care about that. Doge is supposed to be worried about spending, but if you look at the actual spending they've cut, it really isn't that much. They have not cut $1 trillion. That's a myth. If you believe that, you've fallen for propaganda, unfortunately. That's the bit. And then, like Cleveland didn't do unconstitutional stuff. Trump has done several things that are arguably unconstitutional. It's not just me saying that. It's constitutional scholars. It's experts. I'm not just pulling this out of my butt. I'm a big fan of Grover Cleveland. I think he was a very decent human being, and I will defend him for as long as possible. I know that there are critics of him out there, but user 1, Mr. Beat, please run for office. You were a big inspiration for me in discovering my love for politics and majoring in politics. That's amazing. I hope to possibly hold office one day or get involved in some way. I hope you do. Please do whatever you can, even if it's at the local level, city council, school board, mayor, county commission, state legislature. Do it. Even if you're campaigning, canvassing, if you're just making phone calls, sending emails. By the way, you're all going to probably be happy to hear that I sent some emails to my city commission about Georgism recently. And I actually got a response back. It was pretty cool to see that. But it's going to have to be the state level where things get done, I think. Captain, thank you. This remake of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington goes hard. Yeah. It's I highly encourage everyone to watch that movie, by the way. It's probably streaming somewhere. It's old, it's slow, but the end is really good. Very dramatic at the end. If you have a good attention span, I highly encourage you to watch it. This is one of my all-time favorites. Although 12 Angry Men is probably way better. Oh my gosh, it's my friend Will. Subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. He just released a great video today about Canada being the hypothetical 51st state and how that'd be a disaster in every way possible. And just horrible situation, but he, still hypothetical. That's interesting. Anyway, genuinely didn't know about this, and I live down the yeah, he lives in DC. Didn't know about this. Yeah, it's a historical day, like I said at the beginning of the stream. Chris, hello from California, Mr. Beat. Your channel is incredible. Thank you so much, Chris. Thanks for these super chats as well. Ray again, socialists have better songs than capitalists. Andrew, what's your red line to flee the USA? Wow. I like your Tupac shirt, by the way. I guess if my family was in danger, if myself and my family were in danger, then absolutely. Although I love my country a lot, I don't want to leave. Obviously, you know where I'd go. Canada. That's my second favorite country, but I don't want to leave. So I hope that never happens. Crashing out. Dem, can you do a bit on John Rawls? Love his ideas. Sure. I've actually never got recommended that before, but I can add it to my list here. Let me write it down so I don't forget. All right. Setting sun. I became a citizen last year and voted for the first time, but failed to stop Trump. Love your channel. Question: what is Corey filibustering against any legislation? No, just broadly. And congratulations for being a citizen and voting for the first time. That's awesome. And thanks for the super chat. But he is filibustering against, it's a broad, general, generic filibuster, I guess, against the Trump administration's actions over the past few months, basically since Trump started his second term. So this is a unique filibuster, and that's why some people say it's not technically a filibuster, because it's not specifically protesting a vote for any specific bill. But I don't know. I think I'm generous with my definition of filibuster. If you're doing something like this, I think it's notable. You are delaying what the Senate would be doing otherwise. They can't do anything else as long as he's talking. They did have things on the agenda to do today. Nothing significant, but they did have things to do on the floor today, and they have not been able to do that because of Senator Booker not shutting up. So, yeah. Tyler, again, thank you. Dems need to stop the wokeness in order to win. I think a lot of Democrats agree with you, Tyler. Ray, again, wow, thank you. Personally, I think the impeachment system needs to be reformed somehow. We are asking the 100 most brazenly biased people in the world to decide. Yeah, fair point there. Static Soul, hey, Mr. Beat, love your videos. They got me back into my love of history despite being a CS major. When would you do an electoral college debate with VTH? Well, thank you for your love of, or saying you love my videos. That's really kind of you to say, and thanks for the super chat. As far as the debate about the Electoral College with vlogging through history, we talked about it. I texted him, but I don't think he got back to me. I don't think he wants to do it, actually. I'm not going to pressure him to do it, so it's all good. Man. Quinn Darius, should judicial review be made into the 28th Amendment to permanently codify it and prevent it from being taken or challenged? Who would have thought this would have happened, right? Who would have predicted that judicial review, Marbury v. Madison, the most important Supreme Court decision in American history, would be threatened by people in power today? It's crazy. But more and more folks are talking about this. So, yeah, I would be for that because I'm a big fan of judicial review. Why am I a big fan of judicial review? The more checks and balances, the better. The more separation of powers, the better. The more checks and balances within each branch of government, the better. I think that power should be as decentralized as possible. Does that mean things are not going to ever get done? Well, yeah, there possibly, but there are other reforms you can do to take care of that, hopefully. So I'm a big fan of checks and balances, and so I'd be fine with that. Sandy and Express, hey, good to see you. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Beat. Love your videos. Thanks for the live stream right now. I think Trump's actions do present a threat, but I think he's kind of a wimp. Well, thanks for sharing that. Logan, again, still early to say, but where do you rank Trump and Biden? Yeah, it's still too early to say. There's still a lot that can happen, and more time needs to pass for Biden. I feel like I go back and forth with him. So, Justin, I enjoy your SCOTUS vids. When is the next one? I propose Batson v. Kentucky, landmark case on jury selection. I've heard of that case. I think somebody, maybe you, has already suggested it to me before. I have one planned in a couple of months, but I've been focusing a lot on media literacy stuff and just the fact that there's a lot going on right now with the federal government that's troubling. I've been kind of preoccupied with other things. So my next video is about the deep state. What is the deep state? And my next long form video, I should say. I have some other shorts planned, but yeah. So, you know, a lot of people don't really know what the deep state is, and yet it's brought up all the time. So stuff like that, I think, is taking higher priority, but I'm still making the series. Don't worry. And thanks for the suggestion. Ray, again, the modern GOP wants smaller government right up until you do something you disapprove of. Then they reserve the right to use government to stop you. Well, he's just ranting now. Base Fishbone. Hi, Mr. Beat. Trump has said multiple times that McKinley is his favorite president because of how he used tariffs to help the economy. Is this actually true? By the way, fun fact, Cory Booker is a vegan. I did not know that about Senator Booker. Trump, I don't know if he really has a favorite president. He said also multiple times that Andrew Jackson is his favorite president. So I think he really just has multiple favorite presidents. But I don't know. He has praised his tariffs specifically. That is for sure. Wow, Jake. Rock Jock Jayhawk. Hey, you. All right. We got somebody who's a fellow Jayhawker. How can I get more politically involved in Kansas? Love from OP. Oh, Overland Park. Nice. We've got another local here. Go to Topeka. Show up to the Capitol. But if you can't do that, go to your city council or city commission. I don't remember what they have in Overland Park. I used to live in Overland Park. I should know this. But just show up to the meetings and ask questions. That's the first thing you can do. Write emails to them, call your school board meetings as well. Especially if you have kids that go to public schools. Yeah. Mr. X, as a lefty, I want Canada and Greenland and the Union, more seats and more electoral votes for Dems. Yeah. See, that's what my friend Will just made a video about, what that would look like. Design song 1. Hey, Mr. Beats, I have a great attention span. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the movie you recommended. I'm watching you and Senator Booker instead. It's called Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It's a classic. I forced my government students to watch it, but most of them did not like it. But they did like 12 Angry Men. When are you going to do a crossover with 5-4 Pod? Whenever they reach out to me, I would be more than happy to collaborate with them, to do a crossover with them. Going into teaching history soon, any advice? Oh, I've been asked this question many times over the years. Just quickly, do it for the people. Do it for the relationships. Remember your passion for history. The kids aren't going to necessarily have that, so you have to just like people first and like history second. That's my go-to advice for new history teachers. Ethan, do you think Trump will be able to win a third term? Oh, even if like let's say that the Supreme Court says he can, hypothetically, I don't think he would, because what would the Democratic Party probably do? They'd probably nominate Obama again. And I think Obama would defeat Trump. He's more popular than Trump is. So yeah. Jason, thank you. Do you think Trump voters like me are dumb? No, Jason. I think most Trump voters are pretty smart, actually. I think they've been tricked. They've been tricked. And if you're offended by me saying that, I've been tricked too. I might be tricked right now myself. So we all get tricked. In fact, I just made a video about this, about con artists, and think about what people are telling us, that maybe it's not true. Maybe we've been brainwashed. Maybe I've been brainwashed. I used to have different political views than I do now. I'm sure they're going to change again. I hope they change again. So yeah, I'm really upset when people do make fun of Trump supporters. It's kind of messed up. Thank you for being here, by the way. There's a lot of people who are not Trump supporters in the chat, and you guys need to be nice. Disco Nixon, what's your in-depth opinion of Biden's term? He passed some good legislation. That's all I can give you right now. Richard, sorry if you've already said, but cathartic to have Booker usurp the record of Strom Thurmond's filibuster of the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Yeah, with Booker being African-American, definitely it is cathartic. That's the right word as well. I said ironic earlier. Maybe that's not the right word. Well, yeah, a little bit of irony there. But I think he knew what he was doing. He was planning on breaking his record all along. I bet Senator Booker was training for this. I bet he was. He was probably like preparing for weeks for this. Wanker, add a national referendum or recall besides impeachment. I would be probably for that. I'm 80% sure that would be a good idea. Brad, what is Trump trying to get rid of judicial review on? It's not Trump. It's Trump supporters who criticize Marbury v. Madison, saying that judges have too much power. It's not Trump himself. He has not said that I know of. Sean, thank you. Hot take, but I think, quote, wokeness has simply become an undefined trigger word the right uses to villainize things they don't like. Most Dems simply don't prioritize identity issues. I made a whole live stream about that, and I pretty much said exactly what you said, but slight disagreement there. But I think it does somewhat mean something. I think it means extreme political correctness, basically, without going into it deeply. That's, yeah. Dawson, thoughts on some GOP pushback against Trump running for a third term? I'm glad to see it. Same goes with some speaking out on his tariffs. Well, tariffs, there have been Republicans speaking out about that for a long time, including some of his own advisors. But yeah, I have not heard any Republicans talking out against him running for a third term. But yes, I am glad to see that as well, because I am against him running for a third term because it's against the Constitution. It's unconstitutional. Ray, again, personally, I think history will be kind to Biden. Quindarius, love the Beavis and Butthead in the background. Oh, yeah, it's one of my favorite shows growing up. I'm a big Mike Judge fan. Canada, Greenland, Panama Canal, No Honor, and Empire. Nah. MKW Core, do you think you will one day remake your videos on the top 10 worst senators and governors? I'm more likely to first remake my videos on the top 10 presidents and worst presidents. Before I do that, I would recommend, or I would predict. Wow, look at all these. Jakey, hi from Florida. First, voted for the first time today. What do you think of Herbert Hoover's 20% tariff effect on the Depression and how they compare to Trump's? There are definitely parallels, and tariffs generally are a bad idea, and they hurt the economy. I was talking about this earlier, so I won't go into it now. But yeah, there are definitely comparisons. The Smoot-Hawley tariff of 1931, or 1930? Oh gosh. But yeah, that made the recession turn into a Great Depression, in my opinion, based on everything I've studied about it. Do you feel like we are seeing the end of American hegemony and the start of a more multipolar world? Yeah. China is now in the driver's seat. China is innovating more than the United States right now. When it comes to most industries, not every industry, but I would say most industries. And that is another thing to be concerned about as an American. Jade, dear chat, whatever political philosophies you may take, please consider attending the nationwide protest on April 5th. Your voice matters. Thanks. I've heard about these. Yes, I heard about those are happening at Tesla dealerships. I'm aware of that. Oh, Jason, sorry. Well, I disagree that I was tricked. Love you, Mr. B. I disagree that I was tricked too. I think that I'm right on everything. But no, I appreciate the support. And yeah, like I can criticize the president, but I think Trump supporters are good people mostly. There are exceptions to every group, I would say. But yeah, I will defend you until the day I die. Trev, some think Dems aren't doing enough to stand up to Trump. What do you think this filibuster symbolizes in terms of strategy of the Democratic Party? Yeah, this might just be like a spark that they're looking to like wake Democrats up, because yeah, so far it's been kind of underwhelming, the backlash by Democrats, especially if you look in the House of Representatives. Hakeem Jeffries, who's the minority leader in the House, and then the minority leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, has also not done much. So although he was very supportive of this filibuster, which is still going, by the way, still going, still breaking the record here. Let's see what he's saying now, by the way. Or did he end it? Did you send it? I think it's over.
Madam President, Madam President, thank you to the pages. Thank you to the parliamentarian staff. Thank you to the clerks. Thank you to the doorkeepers. There are so many people that make this place special. I kept you up all night, kept you up 24 hours. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, everybody.
That's it. It's over. So it looks like it's clocking in at
Madam President,
25 hours, 6 minutes.
Madam President,
Senator from Idaho.
Madam President, this next regular order of business confirmation of Mr. Matthew Whitaker.
Oh, he gets right to it. This is what they were delaying.
Order in the Senate, please. Order in the gallery.
All right, so that's it.
Madam President, is the next regular order of business confirmation.
So they get back to what they were doing. And I need to get back to my family here. So I'm not going to be, oh gosh, I got all these super chats here. Just Google 12 Angry Men. Search filter on. Okay. All right. Awesome. Manta Galaxy. Well, thank you, Jacob. I think that's not a bad idea either, Jacob. Term limits for, oh, they're pretty much saying the same thing. Yeah, not a bad idea. 80% maybe 90% approval on that. I mean, I'm talking about myself. Please explain to certain chatters why Trump deporting legal immigrants and born citizens to other countries and cutting disabled kids and benefits is bad. Regular people are affected. Thanks. Yeah, I think that's obvious. If you're legal, then you should not be deported. And that's been happening. People who have legal status are being deported. And cutting aid to folks with disabilities and cutting aid to veterans is bad because they depend heavily on our support. So, and if you don't think this affects you, well, maybe it affects somebody you love. So, what's KOH? Is that? Oh, King of the Hill. Of those three, I think Office Space is my favorite. World According to Briggs. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Yeah, like there's so many people that argue that President Trump was just a con man. I tend to agree with that. And if you're going to say that, then him and Elon Musk are both con men, con artists. And if you're going to say that, then they're probably the two most successful con artists in American history. Yeah. Good to see you. Thanks for that support. And I did come across that book when I was researching for my con artist video. Make a video about the CIA. I'll mention them in the deep state video for sure. Do you think this implies a 2028 run for Booker? You can maybe make that argument. Mr. B, have you thought about doing a video on 1833 Leonid meteor shower in the context of U.S. history? It's very fascinating. I know, but I will write that one down as well. Man, all these great ideas. Thank you. Add to my list of video ideas that already has 1,000 video ideas on it, but that's okay. Matt, is this the Matt Baker or a different Matt Baker? I know two Matt Bakers. But thank you. Mr. Beat, would you support a Harry Truman third term? Is he the only person constitutionally allowed to do so? Let's ignore that he is dead. Yeah, let's dig him up. Let's dig him up. Elijah, Trump bringing in third terms in U.S. voting for Obama would be Scorsese levels of cinema. I know. Totally. Think Booker could run for 2028? Yeah, somebody just mentioned that. I think a lot of people want him to run, but if you look at those polls, usually he's not included. Wanker again, U.S. government's not supposed to infringe on the human rights, including speech of those under its jurisdiction. Those aren't privileges to citizenship. Yeah, it goes beyond citizenship. There are certain rights that are covered under the 9th Amendment, actually, rights that are not listed in the Bill of Rights. What's the line? BN, a con artist, and below. And I'm not sure what you're saying there, just another human. But I did make a video about con artists. If you want to go back and watch it, it's I released it last Friday. Max, that was a fantastic filibuster. I know it was never going to happen. I just wish he told Schumer off for his hypocrisy in the middle there. Yeah, he's being nice to his boss. And Sean, this will be the last one. Then I gotta go eat dinner with my family. They probably already ate without me. One thing I don't see a lot of people talking about is Trump and Melania's, quote, meme coins they're scamming people with. CoffeeZilla is losing it. Oh, yeah, those are absolute scams. If you bought one, you were going to lose all your money. So hopefully you didn't buy any. And so, yeah, that's another example of how he's a con artist. Yeah, it's really sad, actually. CoffeeZilla he's out there doing the Lord's work. He is a treasure. I highly recommend you subscribe to CoffeeZilla. One of the best YouTubers around. He does great work. Okay, Josh Green, 2028. Why hasn't either party reformed password comprehensible immigration reform since the Reagan? I don't know. That's a great question. That is such a great question. Reagan was the last one to actually have good policies on this. Okay, that's gonna do it. So if you're just now tuning in, what we did this past hour and a half was I filibustered. I did a talking filibuster. No, I'm kidding. No, we were reacting to a historic moment. Cory Booker, one of the 2 senators from New Jersey, wrapped up a talking filibuster, which is now officially the longest talking filibuster in American history, at least that we have recorded. And it lasted more than 25 hours. So that was pretty cool to watch, to see it happen in real time with you. So thanks for being here. It was really fun to interact with all of you. And just thanks for watching my channel and subscribing and liking and sharing and all that jazz. You know what I mean? And I would not be able to do this if not for all of you. So thank you, especially if you donated money. Holy crap, that's really cool. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.